Hello, my friends. I mean you. Yes, you.
Data of every description will pervade our consciousness. Holograms projected beneath our eyelids.
Welcome to the DCC Museum.
Hi and welcome back at the museum. Today's video is about a first generation Optimus DCT-2000. This one we got through eBay. It's in box. It has issues. We know that. The seller made us aware of that. But according to Tandy, who collaborated with Philips on actually making this their pet project, they built a very specific player that does not relate to any of the other first generation players. It has the same mechanism, but all the other electronics are different, which makes it a nightmare to restore. Because the Marantz, the Technics and the Philips all share the same internals, which makes them sort of easier to restore. This one is very much different. So let's open it up. What was not included, what we still have, was the in-seal manual. It came with the original remote. Again, is very much different than any of the other first generations. It doesn't work on any of the other machines. If you would have a Marantz, a Philips or a Technics remote, those are all interchangeable. This one is different. It's also smaller. The Peter Nero cassette, which originally came with this Optimus. And then here you can see a little bit about the unique packaging. I love the box. It's very different. So they try to go with the VCR experience. You can see the touch part, which is hidden behind this compartment, which makes it very sleek. It does feel a little bit flimsy. That was always my main concern with this, but all the buttons are hidden here, and it does give it like a VCR look. It had coaxial and optical in and out, of course analog, and we're going to open it up and show you what the problems are with this machine. It is very service friendly as far as accessibility goes, only 3 screws in the back. We've added what they call a Lazy Susan in America, which is very handy, and it helps us to service equipment very easy rather than picking up 4 or 5 times. And we can already see that this has been worked on. That's bad news. We knew it wasn't working, power button was sticking, but somebody has worked on this before. Now, it's not too scary. We often receive units that have been worked on, but usually we know beforehand, and in this case we didn't. You can see here that this fuse is not original. This board, the audio board, has already received new capacitors. This switch is broken, but again, we already knew that. So we're going to take this a little further apart to see what the actual problem is. So why this is a nightmare to work on is that because the mechanism and this audio board, the read-write board being on the back of this mechanism, is generally the same for a 900, Marantz 8292, Technics or Panasonic DC-10. But with this unique combination, not only did they change the whole layout, Tandy did, for the electronics, but this board, the audio board, which is interchangeable between all the other first generation models, it's very specific for this model. It looks the same, but there are different components, it's differently used, and it's not interchangeable. And since this is a 3-layer board, so there is a B side and there is a middle layer, once the acid of leaking capacitors damage the middle connection, the board is gone. You cannot fix it. And since this board is very unique to the Optimus DCT-2000, once this has a problem, and this has already been worked on, so we're going to find out, you will basically not be able to restore unless you find a donor. This is the worst documented player. At least we have no service manual at the museum. The good news is that in recent months we have found one of the key developers at Tandy that worked on these units and actually developed the boards. We are scheduled to do an interview with him within the next few months. So this board, unique to the player. I have to take the cover off first. These covers snap right off. And otherwise you have no chance on taking the mechanism out. I will remove the one remaining screw and the 3 cables. This also seemed loose, definitely something missing. Okay, everything else seems to be original. So what we usually do to test is go to our, what I like to call service machine. We have a little cardboard box in here, and now that the read-write board already seems to have some work done on, a lot of traces are gone. What we will do is use one of our read-write boards in this mechanism that came with the Optimus, and that way we can quickly test if there is life in the head. So we start with the head, then we will work on the read-write board. Also gives us a chance to use restored boards like this audio board, already restored. Just pop that right in. So we know now that that works. The head is seemingly okay. It will play. So let's fix the switch. Yeah, it doesn't want to come back. We have a replacement for this. That's the way how it's supposed to be. Lots of work done on this board as well. Okay. Since the copper is damaged on that back side, I'm going to leave that fuse as is. Yeah, to get the original fuse back seems to be impossible, as there is so much damage on the other side that has been corrected. That's the reason why they put that fuse in. Perfect. So now that we've put everything back together, we've recapped the read-write board and the audio board. Like shown in the previous video, we always check the connections A to B side. We found actually 2 connections that were broken. So that's good news. Let's fire it up. Okay, so audio is back, so that is good news. You can hear this whirling sound. This is indicating a problem with this board. Again, totally unique to only this player, as we do not have the service manual, but hopefully get it soon. We may be able to determine what is wrong with it. This board is making this motor spin like the cassette is not in there, although it is, because obviously it plays. It also causes another problem, and that is if you go to B side, it will only stop playing it for 1 second and then stop. So play side A, side B 1 second, and then it stops because it believes there's no cassette in it. So how do we know this? We know this from the original Optimus we have here at the museum. We've actually replaced this board with the one that we have here at the museum, and then all these problems went away. So the mechanism was acting accordingly. It plays side A and side B. So now we hope for the service manual, or we would have to somehow find a donor board for this. Not the greatest success so far. It's a longer project. We at least have some audio working. The head is okay. The main boards are okay. That is the biggest victory of today. Replaced the switch. I would have liked to replace the fuse, but since there's so many traces damage on the other side of the board, it doesn't make any sense to do another hack job just to try and get a fuse originally back there. This fuse is totally fine. So we will put this all back together, and then once we have a better vision on what to do with that board, we might be able to do a follow-up. We're happy to add this to the museum because we didn't have a player in box. Nice addition to the museum. So we hope you enjoyed this video. See you next time.